Yes, dude. Yes.
Whoa.
We are back for another fun-filled week.
Look at how cold we look.
I know. Look, freezing. Sub-zero.
How about this? Now we're
on the surface of Mars.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Off the Happy Hour.
Goodness,
What's going on,
I'm
Mike?
like all white, man.
Hell yeah, you are.
Goodness, you gotta tone it down. Tone it down. There you go. Yeah.
Better.
We
We started already.
Yeah, we're good, dude. Recording. We're recording down there.
Sure are, bud.
All right, welcome
Hanging out.
back. This is episode 100
29.
Is it? I thought it was 130. 'Cause I
Nope.
thought 120. Oh no, 128 just went to Patreon. So this is 129. It's going to be 2 parts. We're recording for a while, so buckle up. We're excited for this one. Reason being, we're a little busy. Okay, we got some things in the works. So because of that, we are doing round 1 and 2. Because of outside factors.
Yeah. And we are going to be recording, or not recording. It's not recordable. You're not going to get it after the fact. So if you want to be in on our happy hour quarterly hang session on March 27th, you literally have like 6 days to go sign up for Patreon. If you do, you'll be included on this. And we have a big announcement coming.
Sure do.
That is not going to be available to anybody else literally until it happens, because we want it to be like, oh, what's up?
It's a surprise.
This has happened now.
It's a surprise.
So if you want in on this literally crazy news, go over patreon.com/Buffalo Happy Hour. And then you can be invited to our happy hour crew on the 27th, right? And it's only for the top 2 tiers, because this ain't open ever. This ain't it ain't free range of all the poor. Just kidding. We love every single one of you, but it's a little bit of an incentive to, come up to the A tier. You know what I'm saying? So go over to patreon.com/Buffalo Happy Hour and sign up for either the, what is it, 25 or 50? Because for some reason we have people in the $50 a month club.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
We got to start thinking about shirts too. I was thinking about that the other day.
I know.
Because we're coming up to, not really. I mean, it's not until, when do we start Patreon?
Listen,
September,
our
October?
supply chain's a disaster, so we should probably get on it.
True, good point.
Yeah. But let's get through tax season first. So, all right, we'll dive into our useless fact after we touch on our business sponsors. Queen City Creative Works.
Yo.
So thank you for your continued sponsorship, Queen City. We appreciate you. We are trying to move a bunch of bottle openers that are metal and wrapped in silicone that are branded on both sides. They are for sale right now on QueenCityCreativeWorks.com. Once you're on the main page, just scroll all the way down to the bottom, and then you'll see Buffalo Happy Hour's logo with a Shop Now button. Select that, and then it'll bring you right to the things that are for sale, which are currently black slate coasters that are branded in white with our logo, water bottles, which is right here, and the bottle opener that I just discussed. We appreciate any and all support, as does Queen City. Once you get this product in the mail, review it, take a look at it, comment, tell us all about it. We are excited. We just want to get you guys material that you can enjoy, and we don't care where you are in the world, we can ship it to you. So thank you.
Material girl living in a material world. That's what we are.
That's right. Just don't chase waterfalls. So for Queen City, if you don't follow them on Instagram, please do. Queen City Creative Works is their tag and handle. Next is Addie's logo. It's down here. Boom. Crushing it.
Nailed it.
And we have another one coming.
Sure do.
So we'll
That's
talk
not
about
the
that
announcement,
later.
though. So it's still piquing your interest. I know that you guys want to go. It's only $25 a month.
Okay.
It's like 4 coffees a month.
Here is the useless fact for today. Sharks are older than trees. And not by like 5 years. You ready? Sharks have existed for about 450 million years in one form or another.
Oh, so the species of sharks are older than the species of trees.
Trees have been around for nearly 350 million years. 100 million years between sharks and trees. That's fascinating to me.
Yeah, that is weird.
100 million years.
Yeah. So why? Is it because sharks are one of the first animals, and then now that they're just do sharks even give off CO2? They're in the water. How does that work?
They must.
But then where does it go? It just bubbles up to the top? And then
Yeah.
just bloop, like
Yeah,
the shark
it's
just
gotta
farted or
rise.
something like that.
It's got to rise. That's what their gills are. Well, yeah, they have gills.
But yeah,
That's how fish breathe.
Oh, I know that, Michael.
But what do
does
they
it still
do-
emit CO2 and like help the atmosphere in that sense, like we do? Like, do trees eat the CO2 from
I'm not
sharks?
a marine biologist, so you need to give me a second. Do sharks omit CO2?
Emit, I think.
How sharks are helping Swiss cut emissions? No. Okay, hold on. How do sharks help the carbon cycle?
There you go.
The oceans released an insane amount of CO2, so yes.
Oh, okay, there you go.
So, yeah.
So maybe that's why, because like we needed something here to start doing the CO2 so trees can live.
Right, because trees intake it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all in God's plan.
Did you know that the world is greener now than it was back then?
Don't get me started.
Because everyone thinks that we're dying and every like deforestation is killing us. Like
No,
we're actually greener now because
Liberals think we're dying.
because we're emitting so much CO2.
Did
like
you see-
plants live off of CO2. We're emitting so much. Sure, it might be ruining our atmosphere, but it's helping trees grow.
Did you see Elon call for more oil?
Yeah.
Elon.
The dude's a man.
Anyways, what, okay. So,
How many species of sharks are there?
stop. When you...
Dude, we got like 4 hours to record.
I have a question for you, damn it. So, when you text me and you have like something dire that actually matters, because 97% of the time we text, it's just nonsense
Yeah.
and we just make fun of each other. But when it's something serious, you always start by saying yo with like 3 O's. Why?
Get your attention.
There's
that
a
for
better
everybody.
there's a better way to do that.
Nah.
There is. That's the
I need your attention.
that's the old skater you coming out.
No, it's like, yo, like, what's up? Like, I want a response before I just unload it on you. Because if I'm like, yo, and you're like, busy real quick, I'll call you in a second, then I'm not going to unload a podcast changing thing on you at that second. So I got to see if you're up for it. Like, yo, and you're like, what's up, dude? Then I'm like, there we go. That's my end.
What about like, hey Mike?
That's not
This
how I roll.
happened.
That's not how I roll, dude. I've never done
Every
that.
single time you text me and your name is on my phone, I get nervous. So you don't have to say yo to get my
Why?
attention.
Why are you nervous?
Because it can go in any direction. It could be you making fun of me, which is fine.
It's fine.
It can go to we're making fun of
Friggin'
Tom,
hot in here.
which is always fine if we make fun of Tom. It could be podcast changing news, life changing news, or football related. All of those demand my attention.
So why are you
immediately.
nervous? 99.9% of the time I don't make you nervous, do I?
It's not nervous. I'm just anxious to finish reading the text. And then when you say yo, I'm just like, ugh, you're smarter than that.
You know something's coming, that's why.
Well, that, but I also know you're smarter than yo.
No, dude, that's... Yo. What else? Hello, Michael. I'm going to start doing that from now on. You just don't like the term yo? Is that what we're getting at here?
Kinda.
Okay. Well, that's a different conversation. Why don't you like the term yo?
I just feel like it's unprofessional.
Well,
And
I'm
like,
talking to you. It's not like I'm talking to my boss. Even though I do say my boss, like, messaging him today, I'm like, yo.
I don't know. I just feel like there's better ways to start a conversation.
I'm an informal guy when it comes to that stuff, though.
You
Like,
are.
I don't want to
are.
make people if I okay, real talk. If I texted you, "Hello, Michael," you would probably be even more anxious about what's coming.
I would admit myself to ECMC, which is the only trauma center in Buffalo, if anybody is curious.
Exactly. So I think yo is like my informal way of being like, yeah, we're good. Like there's
Right.
nothing crazy going on. I just want your attention. Make sure that you're engaged in this conversation before I start unloading stuff.
Nothing crazy, although it's just like, hey, I had a brain lapse
Yeah.
and I need help on this because I'm overwhelmed.
Correct. Or hey, we need to buy a drone. But that's a conversation for a different day.
I still refuse to answer.
I know you do.
So, oh my God, it's so funny. So, all right, weekly recap. PT's going great.
Yeah, so you got tape on your knee. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on there?
It's not, so newsflash, it is not $140 every time I go.
That's good.
That was just for the consultation for the 1 hour. Now it's only $47.50 for like every time I go, which
not
is
bad.
great. No,
Yeah.
48 bucks to go and get everything worked on is awesome. Okay, so recently my PT is like a bro. So
Does he say yo?
he kind of like, it's funny. Like he'll just forget that he's working sometimes. but I would do the exact same thing because sometimes I do the same thing with customers at work too, where I'll slip in like a dude, or like I'll randomly quietly swear and just like it's rapport building. But and there's nothing like he's crushing it, like he's doing amazing work. There's nothing wrong. It's just funny because then I look at him and I answer him, and then he goes like right back, and then he's just like yeah, so and then he's like all professional. I'm like, you're awesome, dude. So, but to his point, I'm very easygoing, so I totally get it, because if I was in his position, I would match my energy and my vibe too, and that's just, it is what it is.
Sure.
So the bump, I guess, went down, but all that means is the inflammation went down. So he did the ultrasound.
Isn't it a bone?
It's a bone. But
so how did the bone go? The bone didn't go down. The inflammation around the bone went down.
Exactly. Yeah. So when he did the ultrasound, he did it right before I did a bunch of lunges, like legit painful hard lunges where I'm putting a lot of stress on the knee, and it is what it is. Like, you just got to do it. So I took a bocce ball, put it up against the wall, and then put my leg against the ball, and then did a lunge while holding on to the wall. And he's like, you want to keep pressure against the ball, keeping it on the wall, and then just let the ball go up and down on the wall, and then just do a perfect lunge. I'm like, okay. It hurts so bad. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm gaining anything out of this, because it's just a bone growth on my tibia where the tendon is. Like, I don't know what that's really doing. And he's like, it's strengthening things around your knee, but it's like, you just gotta work it. I'm just like, oh my God, this sucks. So did that. My knee throbbed all day. From then on out, it's just like every time it was a pulsating throb, basically matching my heartbeat. I'm like, perfect. Then I went to sleep, same thing. I'm like, okay. Next night, I went to sleep with a knee brace on, wore my knee brace all day, and then I went to PT, and he goes, it looks way smaller. I was like, that's what she said. And he was like kind of confused at first, and I was like, well, I wore a knee brace, so maybe that's it. And he goes, yeah, probably, but I don't know. I was like, maybe it's the ultrasound, like knocking out the added inflammation. Like, I'm trying to think of what else it could be, but he massaged it. Then he did this cupping technique that was real intense. It was new. So after he got done massaging and doing this like rollout on the outer quad, he took a cup, put it on my leg, and then when it was pinched, he just worked it down my leg. So he started mid-quad and then went down over my kneecap, and then just work the quads. And I'm like, this is fascinating, because he basically just like all the skin went into the cup and then out, and just pulled all that toxin out. Epic. So he's like, you're probably going to be sore tomorrow. I'm like, oh, you think? I was like, yeah, dude, this is going to be ridiculous. I'm going to be hobbling around. He's like, so now what I want to do is, you mentioned the tape. I want to tape your knee, because my leg kind of like kicks out because it's nothing center. So he has tension on the outside to force everything in to get everything in alignment. He's just going to see how it does. He's like, just constantly work the tape, because the heat from the tape is what builds the adhesion. I was like, that's how it works. He's like, so just sit there and rub it. And I was like, all right. He's like, but you got hair around your knee, so I don't know if the tape is going to take. No, it falls off on itself. Yeah, it's got its own life. He's like, you can shower with it. Like, don't take it off. It'll just fall off when it's done. I'm like, all right. Wild. Technology is nuts.
It is.
So doing that, and then I wore my sweater, obviously. So then he's just like, I like your sweater. I'm like, thanks, dude. It's my podcast.
Hey, you want to buy one?
Yeah, and he's just like, you have a podcast? And I was like, yeah, man. And I was like, it's my business on the side for now. And Dan, if you're watching. And he's just like, tell me about it. So I did, and then he's like, Telling's fairly successful for 2 years. I was like, more successful than I ever thought. I was like, that's for damn sure. So he's just like, all right, I'm going to give it a listen. Probably drop a couple comments.
Does he want to be
like,
on?
Sounds good. You're not going to be the only one. We can have a PT on.
I would like it. Talk about all these techniques, dude, because there's so much in PT that you just don't know. So much. Okay, so here's my thing when it comes to PT is
He's
that
such a nice kid.
PT is physical therapy itself is mostly reactive in nature. Like, you're going to physical therapy because something happened. But with their studies and all of their education, they know all of the proactive stuff that you should be doing so you don't end up like this. So that's what I've always wanted to have a conversation on is like, okay, so for you, this is your reactive stuff that you have to do so your knee doesn't hurt. But maybe not in your case, because your case is an actual bone growth that you couldn't have fixed. Or it just
I'm an
happens.
experiment.
Yeah. But like someone that has back pain or something like that, it's like, yeah, you have back pain because you're sitting in a chair all day. You're not getting up every hour. You are slunched because you have absolutely horrific posture. And this is all why you have scoliosis, because you lean on this side of the armrest all day, every day. Don't do that. So I would love to talk to somebody about that. It's like, how do you like look at somebody and be like, one, you're an idiot because you're a gamer and you're like this all day. Like, how do you do that? So I would love to have you on, man. If you're here, drop a comment. Make sure you subscribe. But also, let us know if you want to be on, because that'd be a good discussion.
Massage therapists do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because when they're massaging you, they can tell you why you're tight based off your lifestyle, because everything's connected.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. It's all fascinating.
It's really cool. The human body's wild.
It is.
And it adapts.
It does. It does
Do you see yourself, probably not you, but like...
What do you mean probably
do you
not
ever,
me?
Because you have good posture, and you always have. Probably because of the Army. But like, do you ever see yourself sitting and then you're just like, shit?
Yeah,
you, like,
well,
sit back
it's
up?
actually, it was because of my dad before the Army.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was because of my dad. I would slouch, and then he would always yell from like across the yard, like, put your shoulders back! And I'm like, what? And I look over and he'd do that. He's like, have some pride. I was like,
really?
okay. And he would yell that. And then my football coach yelled the same thing. But that was also like the school motto. It was like pride and punish. He's like, have some pride. Like, be a man.
Yeah.
So that kind of helped. But I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, put your chest out. Like, move your spine. Physically move your spine. I was like, all right, Dad. Like, you're literally yelling. Like, I'm at the dinner table trying to eat. And then it went from there. But he always, you know, he just said, if you have good posture, better posture is better breathing. It's simple. So just sit there. Put your shoulders back. Like, you don't want round back. You don't want to look like a Neanderthal dragging your knuckles.
Right.
Literally what he would say. Then the whole Army thing, yeah, it's, you know, but a lot of that was just kind of marching DNC, you know, cool your fingers, nonsense like that. But then it's just kind of, it's just obvious, dude. Like, you just see weak, timid soy boys walking around. You know what I mean? Like, just be an alpha male. Like, own your space. You know?
Well, it's so weird because when you walk or when you have good posture, your arms rotate and your hands are like straight.
Yeah.
So like you walk like a normal human. If you start curling, your arms like rotate out. And then your palms start showing. So you start walking like this.
Yeah, you look like an idiot.
It's like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
What are you waving to me, walking away? Like, what's going on? I used to work with a guy that did that. And I'm like, guy, just like take this, round it back out, and you're good. But every once in a while, like if I start getting really bad posture, my ribs start hurting because everything just like comes in. And I get meow, 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 like crunch down. And my ribs start hurting.
What was that?
Come back.
Meow, meow, meow?
I don't perform for anyone. But when I come back like this, stuff starts popping too. It's a real cool experiment that I am. Dan, what's up? His name Dan?
No.
Oh, what's his name?
I don't know.
Oh, nailed it. You don't know your physical therapist's name?
Joe.
Joe, what's up?
I had to think about that for a second.
Joe.
Stop.
You want to be on, bro?
Oh my God.
So yeah, let's have that conversation.
All right, next time I
That'd
go,
be fun.
which is like the end of the month because now this is it.
Yeah.
Our life's miserable. Oh, did you say yes to Friday?
Dude, I don't know. I haven't. She just pulled in before we started.
That's right. That's what you
recording.
said. That's what you said.
So much going on. But so about the gym, first of all, the gym's getting busy again. Not a fan of it. I go so early. There shouldn't be anybody there.
Yeah.
But there's these two people there now that constantly look at themselves in the mirror.
Oh, those are
What
the
do you
best.
think about that?
They're the best, dude. They're the best.
It's so obnoxious.
Oh, yeah. It's the physical worst.
Like when you're walking by the mirror and you're just like staring in the mirror to see your reflection. It's like, dude, okay, cool.
Their clothes match?
What are you doing?
Are they like coordinated efforts?
No, not really. He wears a tank top all the time, which I also don't like. It's like, what? You're not showing off.
Little nip?
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, guy, just wear a t-shirt. What you're not impressing anybody. The girl that's there doesn't want to talk to you anyway.
Does he wear a hat?
No.
Is his hair
Which is
styled?
surprising, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's got to look good.
It's 5 in the
He's at the
morning.
gym. Exactly.
And he gelled his hair.
Correct. Well, yeah.
Tool.
I just wet mine and throw it back so I don't look like I just got out of bed. And Tom is like, "Did you put gel in your hair?" I'm like, "No, dude, it's the gel from yesterday. I'm showering when I get home."
Right.
It's just like, and then when I lay it down, only this part sticks out because of my colic. I got to get a haircut. But yeah, I'm like, dude, why are you looking at yourself in the mirror? Why do they even have mirrors at the gym? To check form, I'm assuming. But
Right.
now you're just gawking over yourself and you look like a tool.
I love those people.
Why?
It's motivation. They are worse. I mean, listen. They are worse than Steven Seagal. For you, they're worse than Nicolas Cage.
Correct.
But for me, you can't hate Nicolas Cage.
Oh, yeah, you can.
No, you can't. He's one of the greatest actors of all time.
Do you ever say anything to anybody at the gym? Like, have you ever coached somebody at the gym?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You're one of those guys?
No, only if it was apparent. And if there was previous conversations before of just like, hey, how you doing? Like that kind of a thing. But I haven't like, no, I don't go around and correct people's, I just laugh and I'm just like, you're an idiot. And then I just maintain what I'm doing. I've worked out with friends at the gym, which is a totally different, totally different ball game.
What
but
do you think about
otherwise-
like talking at the gym in general? Like if I have headphones on and someone comes up to me and starts talking.
Oh, yeah. No. All right. Gym etiquette.
Right.
Round one of this episode is gym etiquette. If headphones are in and a hat's on and or a baggy sweater with a hood and the hood's up, walk away.
Yeah, don't talk to him.
Leave him alone. Like, no.
He's working on inner demons.
And women do the same thing. Like, leave them alone. They're not...
Most of the time, leave women alone.
Well,
They're
yeah.
objectified too much at the gym. Just let them be.
However,
Don't critique their squatting. Don't be a perv.
You know when a girl's at the gym to work out versus trying to find somebody.
Right.
And it's obvious, and women will tell you that too. It's obvious, like the all pink jumpsuit, and it's probably like super bright highlighter pink Lululemon leggings, like Nike like tube socks that go up, white Converse sneakers, and then a pink matching colored sports bra, and her hair's in a bun. Or a ponytail, rather. And they're only doing legs. They only work out the gluteus maximus when they're at the gym. Nothing else. No headphones. Like, they're on their phone. They're always looking around. Head on a swivel. That's when you know they're looking. If a chick is wearing that same exact outfit, but you never see the sports bra, and it's a baggy sweater, and she's got huge headphones on, leave her alone,
Right.
and she's working out harder than you ever will in the next 2 weeks. Like, that's the reality of it. And then when you get mad that she's got a bigger butt than you do, it's because you're not working out as hard as she is.
Right.
Like, it's just obvious. But also, it's 5 a.m. They're not there to find somebody at 5 a.m.
Correct.
So it's all based on time, too. If it's 2 in the afternoon... no. Unless they're an overnight nurse, they're not. That's not a thing.
Right.
And in this area, that's
But if it's
a
6
legitimate
o'clock,
career field
yeah.
for chicks that go to the gym in the middle of the afternoon who try to
Right.
find somebody because they may or may not have daddy issues. But don't worry, they're going to tell you that they're an RN BSN. So that's round two.
We were just at this whiskey event. And then when we got so mad that you said RNPSN.
All right, here's the full story. Here's the full story.
Oh my God. That was
Because
a
they're
riot.
probably going to be on. They're not the owners.
Yeah.
They were amazing. First and foremost, we had a blast with them because obviously it's a whiskey event. Everyone's coming up. I'm not going to take any B12. Like, this is stupid. What do you want me to sign a waiver for? You don't have any booze to drink? Like, whatever. However, we show up. Here's our cards. We would love to have you guys on our show. This is a trip. Like, what do you have going on? We learned about everything. They have, like, nasal sprays.
Yeah.
Then they have the injection. Well, the one woman said, we are doing B12 injections into the arm, and it'll, increase your energy. Here are the benefits of B12. However, you still got to sign this waiver because you might feel weird or whatever. It's a CYA waiver. No problem. Okay, sounds good.
Did you feel weird?
No. Dude, it's B12. You're fine. So I go, all right. What, like, you're injecting this? Because I missed that at first. Because obviously it's basically a smaller Whiskey Riot that's better ran.
Right.
So that's the vibe of the whole event. For those that are kind of curious or did not go to this one. So it's a trade show for whiskey for people that didn't go to Whiskey Riot or don't know what Whiskey Riot is that are out of state. So we're standing there, and she goes, yes, it's a B12 injection, like with a needle, almost like a flu shot, but we're injecting B12 into you. And I go, oh, and she goes, don't worry, we're nurses. And I go, oh my God. And the one girl's like 30 years younger than the other. And she's like waiting, and she's about to hand over the waiver. And I go, are you RN BSNs? And Derek starts laughing. They both say yes. And then the older woman contradicts herself and says, actually, I'm not a BSN, but I've been a nurse for 30 years.
What does BSN mean?
It's a bachelor's of nursing, because a nursing program is 2 years. So when you go to nursing school for the additional 2 years, then you get your BSN. It's just more college.
Okay.
It's a 4-year degree of nursing. So now, granted, getting your BSN is difficult because it's hard.
And it's different than just an RN.
But you're already working as well.
Right.
So when you're an active RN, then you're in college again on top of working, which nurse hours suck. To get your BSN, it's a lot of work. So it's an accomplishment, but that's half the joke, because when women that are in the field tell you that, that's how they say it.
Right.
I'm an RN, BSN, and they have a lot of pride in it, but a lot of nurses it's a stereotype. They're like that.
Yeah.
Probably daddy issues, like it's okay.
Correct.
So, and I got nothing but love. My sister's a nurse, for Christ's sake. Like, I get it. It's just really funny because they all say the same thing the same way. So when I said that at the show, the younger woman was drilling me. She's like, wait, why'd you say it like that? Oh my God, why'd you say it like that? And then she was,
oh my God.
she was still laughing. And then Derek's like, oh no, is she pissed? I'm like, I'm just not even going to acknowledge it. So then I go, well, I'm not taking my sweater off because I'm not, and it's not worth it. And she's like, well, I can go down here. And I was like, let's do it. So I literally drop my pants, and she sticks it into my ass like in Pearl Harbor. And then all of a sudden I see this. And the girl from Buffalo Trace peeked down because I'm behind the ribbon, and I'm like, hey, this is, I was like, what's going on? First of all, I'm violated, me too, what is this? I can't, no, but she got a little look.
She got a show.
Yeah, she got a little look.
So did you feel good after?
I felt fine, yeah.
Did you feel any different?
I felt like it was a cleaner coffee. There was no fog, because when you drink coffee in the morning, you're still just like, damn, I could still use 2 hours of sleep, but I'm good.
Yeah.
By noon, I'll be fine. With this, it was like, I just woke up from a nap, midday, ready to rock, not hazy, not dazy, nothing. And then just normal. It didn't make me lose sleep at all. I slept like a rock, but yeah, it was fine. Felt good. No side effects, nothing crazy. My ass probably absorbed it all, but I was like, whatever.
Yeah, probably stayed down there.
Probably, do a little couple hip thrusts in my sleep. But no, it was, have a little dance party. But no, it was a good time.
Yeah. So it's called 716 Emporium. If you are interested in either following them or attending next year, go follow them. It's run by Jason Jaskula, who's the owner of 13 Monkeys Whiskey. We've had him on. If that's something that does interest you, definitely go give him a follow. He'll post about it. He'll post about all the vendors that are going to be in there next year. We might have some part of it next year as well, or we might just go for the drinks, because that's always a fun thing for us to do also. So go check that out. It'll be next year again, probably around the same time. Different vendors, some of the same vendors, and it's a good time out.
It is. It was a really fun event.
Yeah.
I was happy we went. It's always good to support.
Oh, yeah.
So future collabs are in plans now, so working on some things.
So, Calvin Ridley, bud.
Yeah, what is going? So he wasn't on the team when it happened?
No.
So for those that don't know, Calvin Ridley is an NFL wide receiver who got busted and banned for all of next season for betting on games. Basically, Adam Sandler in the longest yard. But he wasn't an active NFL player when it happened.
So why is there an issue then?
Yeah, can you check Twitter? I'm not on the China's app, so I don't know what they're saying.
Check Twitter around Calvin Ridley?
Yeah.
Because they posted all about it. The NFL released a statement basically saying, you can't do that. You can't, if you are an NFL player, you cannot bet on the team if they're going to win or lose, obviously because you have some sort of vested interest in the team. And specifically, if you're an active member of the team, you can throw the games in favor of your betting. That, to me, is understandable. But for Calvin Ridley's situation, he was kind of off the team for a non-health illness. It was mental health issues. He was completely open about it. He was very overwhelmed. He wasn't mentally stable enough to be in the league. He was completely open about it. But when he was gone, he was betting on the game. So he had no potential even availability to be impacting the game at all, to impact his bets. So that's the whole thing right now that I just don't understand is why, like, I understand if you're an active NFL player, but he was not playing. So how can you even penalize him for that? He's going to appeal it.
Well, of course. So this is what NFL put out. Ridley's been suspended for at least the 2022 season after gambling on games in 2021. Damn, it could be longer. The NFL released a statement Monday announcing his suspension, saying he gambled on games over a 5-day stretch in November 2021 when he was on the non-football injury list to address his mental health, like what you just said. He stepped away from football on Halloween, saying he needed to get his personal life in order. In a tweet Monday, after the suspension was announced, Ridley said he bet $1,500 total and that I don't have a gambling problem. The NFL determined that Ridley placed multi-legged parlay bets involving 3, 5, and 8 games that included the Falcons to win via his mobile device out of state, a source told Adam Schefter. There's nothing more fundamental to the NFL's success and to the reputation of everyone associated with our league than upholding the integrity of the game, said Roger Goodell. He wrote it in a letter to Ridley notifying him of his suspension. This is the responsibility of every player, coach, owner, game official, and anyone else employed in the league. Your actions put the integrity of the game at risk, threatened to damage public confidence in professional football, and potentially undermined the reputations of your fellow players throughout the NFL. For decades, gambling on NFL games has been considered among the most significant violations of league policy, warranting the most substantial sanctions. In your case, I acknowledge and commend you for your promptly reporting for an interview and for admitting your actions. The NFL said its investigation uncovered no evidence that Ridley used inside information or that any game was compromised in any way. There was also no evidence that any of the Falcons' coaches, staff, or players were aware of his betting activity. The earliest Ridley can apply for reinstatement is 15 Feb 2023. He also can appeal the suspension by filing notice within 3 days per the collective bargaining agreement. It is not known if he has appealed the punishment. Multiple teams have reached out to the Falcons in recent weeks to inquire about trading for Ridley, and each time Atlanta declined to enter into talks out of good faith, knowing the issues in store for their standout wide receiver. The Falcons said that they are preparing for the 2022 season as if Ridley will not be with them. We were first made aware of the league's investigation on February 9th. We have cooperated fully with the investigation since receiving notice and support the league's findings and actions, the team said in a statement. We are moving forward in the 2022 season with the decision that was made by the NFL, and any further questions on the investigation should be directed to the league office. Ridley's the first NFL player suspended for gambling since Josh Shaw in 2019. With Ridley now unavailable, Atlanta has one receiver for the 53-man roster last season under contract. They have one receiver from the 53-man roster from last season under contract. Ridley's contract will toll until 2023 and come off of the books for 2022, opening up $11.1 million in salary cap for the Falcons.
Jesus.
So how long has he been in the league again?
Only this last year would have been his only second year. He was drafted 2 years ago.
Okay. Where did he go to college again? Do you remember?
No. He said, or Mike Garafolo tweeted, from our breaking news coverage on NFL Network, the NFL made it clear they'd be able to work with their gambling partners to gather information on potential violations by players and team employees. That's how Calvin Ridley was caught. So now the NFL is working with all these gambling platforms to basically, the gambling platforms to be like, okay, we got Josh Allen betting on games. And then they would just tell the NFL. So it's just like a tattling thing. Question for you is, what about fantasy football? There's a ton of players that play fantasy football.
Yeah.
That's the same thing.
Is it, though?
Yeah. Like, if you are playing fantasy football and you draft a team, and, like, OBJ was a good one, or Juju Smith-Schuster. I was following the Fantasy Footballers, which is another podcast. They're amazing fantasy football commentators. But they were in a league with Juju Smith-Schuster, and he drafted himself. It's like now he has a vested interest in him doing well. And what if the other team had Big Ben as their quarterback or something, and Juju's just dropping dimes to penalize the other team? Like, what about that? It's still gambling. Still gambling on football.
It's not recognized as gambling, though.
Well, it should be. It's gambling.
I understand that, Derek, but it's not.
Well, it should be. It's gambling.
Yeah, so MGM is not behind it saying this is gambling. And I think that's a distinction that separates it. To answer your question, which I'm not qualified to answer that question.
We're not qualified to answer any question on this podcast.
Correct. But I think that's the biggest difference, is that right there. It's not considered gambling. Via the states, nothing.
But it's gambling.
I know that. So, yeah.
That's weird, though.
Good point to make.
I feel bad for him, though, because the dude's just like, I just want to bet on my, like, I believe in my team, so I'm going to put $1,500 on that my team's going to win.
And it was $1,500. That's not that much.
Really.
Yeah, what is that to him?
Nothing.
It's like $7.
Right.
That's less than fast cash at ATM.
I just feel like he shouldn't be penalized for that. That'd be stupid.
You know?
He wasn't even, I can understand if he was like, even if he's benched and he had the possibility of playing, I can understand that too. But if the dude's not even on the field, he's not talking to anybody. They were notorious in saying that they haven't even talked to Calvin Ridley.
Well, then, here's another question for you.
Shoot, brother.
Aaron Rodgers.
Hell yeah.
He's about to get a new contract.
About to be the highest paid player in the NFL.
It's going to, no. It's going to alter football. That's the verbiage. His contract will alter football. How? Like, how do you top Mahomes' contract? Because that legitimately altered football.
Correct.
You know, like, and Tom Brady's was 57.
Well, it's probably going to be like, so, all right, Mahomes was $500 million, which came out to how much a year? What is he getting paid a year? Mahomes, 50?
Something like that. Yeah, it's obnoxious. But let me read you about Green Bay, because I have it right here. The Green Bay Packers have made a significant long-term contract offer to Rodgers that would alter the quarterback market, a source told ESPN. Terms of a potential new contract could always change, but a 3 or 4 year deal would help Green Bay's salary cap situation while giving Rodgers, who's 38, contractual clarity well into his 40s. Green Bay is more than $27 million over the cap just 9 days before the start of the new league year. The Packers were expected to offer Rodgers a new deal at some point this offseason, with the dual intention of getting under the salary cap and also providing market-level compensation for the two-time reigning league MVP. The Broncos are lurking as a potential contender to land Rodgers. So are the Tennessee Titans, which matters for the Bills. Denver's willing to compete to acquire him, either through a new contract or draft pick compensation. Rodgers is weighing his options, but is expected to make a decision soon about his future in the NFL. He previously hinted on the Pat McAfee show. Shout out. He'd like to make his decision by the franchise tender deadline, which is Tuesday, when the Packers need to decide whether to use a tag on star wide receiver Davante Adams. Rodgers is literally thinking about his future in lieu of Davante Adams, which, another reason to like him. Whatever Rodgers decides will create additional cap space. If he doesn't play in Green Bay, the Packers would get between $19.3 to $27 million in salary cap savings. I mean, that's huge. That would change the franchise. However, who do you have getting the ball? Jordan Love?
Right.
I mean,
or you draft somebody. What if, they say change the landscape. Is there any possibility that they would say, Rodgers, listen, we'll give you, what is he making right now? 27 a year? 30 a year? 36 a year?
He's got 1 year left on his deal, and it would count to $46.1 million against the cap.
Okay.
Now, to answer your question, Mahomes is currently the NFL's highest paid quarterback with a $450 million deal that has an average annual value of $45 million. Then there's Josh Allen, both in terms of total value over
like
$258 million and average an annual value of $43 million. So they're both getting $43 to $45 million. And respectively, Allen's played better than Mahomes the last 2 seasons.
Right. So what if Green Bay says, listen, I don't even know if this is possible. We will give you $40 million a year, and you also have part ownership of the Green Bay Packers. Like, can that even be done?
I don't know. I don't know about ownership stake. I doubt it. I don't think the current owners want him to have ownership.
But at that point, what would alter the landscape of how quarterbacks are paid besides, like, NFTs?
So...
Or am I just thinking too much into this?
The Packers GM said last week that Green Bay has not received any trade offers for Rodgers, emphasizing that not a single person has called to inquire about the star quarterback.
That's not true, because one of the teams said that they've called every team about their star quarterback.
The Commanders, yeah. One source stressed to ESPN that the Packers would want so much in compensation, top draft picks and key young players, that a trade could be difficult for the team acquiring Rodgers to execute. League sources told Schefter last week that the Packers had not engaged in any trade scenarios regarding Rodgers and were awaiting his decision. Multiple league executives believe the Steelers have at least inquired on Rodgers, but their level of involvement is unclear. The Packers began the offseason nearly $50 million over cap, and that doesn't include the contracts of Adams, their linebacker Devondre Campbell, and their corner Rasul Douglas. Thanks to renegotiations with left tackle and defensive tackle and running back, they're now $27.5 million over the cap. So they most certainly will use the franchise tag on Adams if a long-term deal isn't completed by 4 p.m. Tuesday. Green Bay wants to retain...
Tomorrow?
Yeah. Green Bay wants to retain Adams whether Rodgers returns or not. So I'm curious to see how that plays out, because it's going to be a lot. You know what I mean?
What would be like changing? Like, what would be an altering quarterback landscape, though? Because you can't get much higher than Mahomes got. There's no way that Rodgers is going to get $100 million a year unless they sign him for 2 years, $200 million.
I think Rodgers, if Allen and Mahomes are both getting $43 to $45 million a year, I think Rodgers is worth $48 to $50 million a year.
But that's not altering the landscape of quarterbacks, though.
It is only because it is because of what the back end looks like. What are the incentives? How long is the contract? What is the total number of the contract, and what's guaranteed money? Guaranteed is what changes the quarterback market every year. So if his contract is, $45 million guaranteed and north a year, it'll change the market because it's a multi-year deal. It's not going to be a 1-year deal with Brady where it was 57, 54, whatever it was. It was like mid-50s a year guaranteed, 1 to 3 year deal. Don't worry about it. This is like a 4-year, you're staying here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And post Rodgers COVID nonsense, like it's a huge, this is news basically. So I'm curious to see what they end up doing, because Jordan Love isn't Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Not even remotely close.
Well, that, and even, like, you would have to bring another quarterback in. You would have to deal with Denver to say, you get Rodgers, sure. We'll get Teddy Bridgie to come in, play serviceable football, but also draft somebody to learn, because Jordan Love isn't the answer. You have to do a deal with a team with a serviceable quarterback, or else next year will be shot.
Which isn't that crazy looking back, thinking about when Aaron Rodgers was backing up Brett Favre?
Yeah.
Like, Brett Favre is... Brett Favre's the greatest goddamn quarterback. Like, Brett Favre is Brett Favre.
Yeah.
And then Aaron Rodgers is just sitting there. That's insane to think about, because then you have franchise guy stacked on the bench.
They've had 2 quarterbacks in, 30 years?
Yeah, the same amount of time that
I've been alive.
one franchise had this, the Steelers had their head coach.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
It's wild. When did Brett Favre start?
Early 90s, didn't he? I think it was early 90s. Double check that. But yeah, I think it's early 90s. I'm going to guess 92. No, 92.
Favre had 321 consecutive starts from 92 to 2010.
Oof, Brett Favre. Nailed it. I love Brett Favre, man. He's one of my favorite athletes of all time. Him, and you know who else? You probably don't even know this name.
No, 91. I'm sorry. He played 2 games in 91 in Atlanta.
Oh, well.
Doesn't count.
Oh, yeah. You ready? Yeah, he was drafted by Atlanta, wasn't he?
He was drafted by Atlanta, then went to Green Bay in 92, played for Green Bay from 92 all the way to 2007, then was traded to the Jets, and then traded to the Minnesota Vikings. Yep, that's where he ended.
Here's a name for you. I don't even know if you know this athlete. It is a professional athlete, not in football. Do you know this name? Paul O'Neill.
No.
Me and Mega Fan just, we're crushed.
What sport?
Baseball.
Oh, that's why. I literally couldn't care any less about baseball.
Why?
It's the most boring sport in the world.
It's America's sport. It's America's true sport.
No, it's not. Look at the numbers right now. Baseball.
First of all, there's a lockout,
baseball.
so you can't say that because
No
there's a
one's-
literal lockout. They're not even.
Is it really?
Yeah, the first 6 series got canceled.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah,
I did not know that. Why? What happened?
literally because you literally don't care
I
about baseball.
literally don't care about baseball. So what happened? Why is there a lockout?
No one's happy. Everybody wants more money. The franchises are coming back. The MLB's PA basically is just like, nah, we can figure this out. I mean, the Major League Baseball is ran by a bunch of inbreds, and they can't figure it out. They really can't figure it out. So I'm curious to see how that whole situation ends up happening too. Yeah. They ended up they came to an agreement today or yesterday where they removed what the hell was it? Strike penalty or something? So we'll see. It's a zoo. It's a literal zoo.
I don't have service right now. I want to look up the numbers by sport. Like the most watched sports over on a yearly basis. Do you have service?
Of course I have service.
God, this sucks.
Most views by
highest rated sports per year.
Okay, hold on. Outside of MLS, right?
In America.
Highest rating sports per year in US. I mean, I'm sure NFL's going to top it, especially because of the Super Bowl.
That's like saying Cowboys are America's team if you say baseball is America's sport. It's like nobody likes the Cowboys. It's just that's what everybody liked back then, and no one likes them anymore. So you can't say it's America's team anymore. Buffalo's America's team.
Well, yeah, but dude, listen. Baseball got us through multiple world wars.
Well, I understand that, Michael,
The NFL
but it's
did
not
not.
current.
It is current. Baseball's not. It still exists. Major League Baseball is still a thing.
And it was important back in the day. But to say it's America's sports now is wrong.
American football is number one,
Hell yeah,
according
it is.
to. Well, this is as of. Hold on, let me find it. This is from Sports Avis on June 5th, 2020. Hold on,
What a virgin.
let me see.
Dude, I don't know why I don't have service.
You should.
Verizon's been shot, dude. So many people have been calling about Verizon.
Really?
Yeah.
I left Verizon so long ago, and I've never looked back.
All right, so
I'm rocking T-Mobes.
most popular sports in America, detailed statistics, top 5 in 2022. Number 1 is American football. Number 2, basketball. Number 3, baseball, softball. Number 4, soccer. So American football is number 1 with 38.8% of viewership, which just blows everything away. Then you have the NBA, then NBA at 15.3, and then baseball at 14.8.
Interesting, because this is a different source as of January 13th, 2021, that said the NFL with 141 million views, then esports. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, like Call of Duty League and stuff like that.
Christ. Bunch of virgins. Which is 84 million views. Then MLB, which is 79 million. Then NBA at 63 million. NHL, 32 million. And Major League Soccer at 16 million.
What's the source?
Statista. And published by Julia Stoll. The graph represents a forecast of the number of sport views in the U.S. in all of 2021. So the NFL is destroying everybody. It's not even close.
Yeah. Okay, so TV viewing record since 2005. I'm getting this from sportsbrowser.net. American football, 119.9 million. Basketball, 30.8 million. Baseball is 40.0 million. I don't know why that's lower, but the percentage is lower. Or the viewer... Oh, the peak. I gotcha. Nailed it. But, yeah, so American football is first, then basketball, then baseball. So how can you say baseball is America's sport?
It got us to 2 world wars. That's how.
So that's the reason why it was named America's sport in the first place?
And it was here. Originate. Historically, that's why.
So can we come to an agreement that baseball is trash now, but it was important back then?
Baseball is a popular North American game. It's from here, that's why.
Where's football from?
Well, football Americano
Football.
or football?
Football is life.
Where is football from? I mean, they're both from here. Yeah.
Yeah. Football's America's sport. That's the baseball stuff. Baseball's so boring.
Oh my God. It's because you don't know anything about it.
So it's still boring. People who don't know anything about football still enjoy football. People who don't know anything about baseball don't enjoy baseball. Everybody, literally a phrase in American society is, I would rather watch paint dry than watch baseball.
It's the same with golf.
Sure. And I'm not saying golf's America's sport because it's Scotland's sport. Aha! But still, no one's saying golf is America's sport. I'm okay accepting the fact that the sport that I love to play is boring to 90% of the population. That's why I like it so much, because no one's around me when I do it.
Yeah, except rich, white, pompous dudes.
Hell yeah. Good for me then.
Oh my God.
But still, we got to talk about Phil Mickelson too. Rip. But
What do you mean rip? He's doing his own thing. I stand with Phil.
Yeah?
I don't care. I literally. But Bryson DeChambeau just stepped out of the next tourney. He's like, I'm not playing it.
Really?
Yeah.
As of when?
This morning, I listened to it on the radios.
He stepped out of the next tournament's the Players Championship. He's not playing in the Players?
No.
What?
Yeah, look that up. It came out this morning. I listened to it on
I
the
don't
radio.
really care because I hate Bryson, but whatever.
Yeah, your boy Flat Top, who's a physics major, he stepped out.
What if I break my back on every swing? Do you think I can get over 300? Withdraws from 2022 Players Championship after missing Arnold Palmer.
Oh, well, that's why. He didn't play well enough to get there in the first place. So what are you so worried about?
I'm not worried, but so he missed it because he's
Newsflash, I'm not worried.
because he's injured. That's why he's not playing. It's
Whatever.
I thought he was siding with Phil. That's why he's backing out. All right, we're going to continue this conversation in a second.